Hey everyone, and welcome back to my completionist playthrough of the Baldur's Gate Saga with SCS. And we have tons of stuff to do in this episode. First off, let's show what happens to an enchanted weapon once the 24 hours pass. We have the broken remains, just like in Baldur's Gate 1, when a weapon broke due to the Iron Crisis. And next, let's talk to that Slayer change that we have kind of unlocked in the last episode. After the dream, we managed to gain some sort of a control over it. And this is depending on like what class you're playing and your party composition. This can be pretty useful. Like for example, if you're soloing just for the immunities, this can be useful in quite a few situations. Or if you're playing a class that cannot dish out physical damage, and that's sometimes needed or very nice to have. Like if you're playing a sorcerer or just a single class mage or thief. Because, you know, here you get 4 attacks per round, a decent Thaco, a good boost to your hit points, and 25 strength and dexterity. So, yeah, you can deal some physical damage and even a little bit of cold damage on top of that. But the downside is that you lose reputation every time you use it, and you also cannot stay in this form for too long, because after a while you get the message that your control is slipping, and you're going to start receiving increasing damage the longer you stay in this form. So we are not really going to use it. We don't really need it, and you know, due to the reputation penalties, and I guess from the role-playing standpoint, I guess every time you use it, you kind of lose yourself a little bit more to that lurking darkness, to that instinct. So just to demonstrate it though, let's quick save and turn into a Slayer once. You get the option to reconsider here. I guess when it comes to that familiar evil reaching out of the darkness, it offers power for a price. Do accept and sacrifice part of yourself. So yeah, we can change into a Slayer. And basically once we get into a fight, yeah, here are our stats. Once we, also it has some resistances that are not listed in that description. But yeah, once we get into a fight, you can lose control over the Slayer. So let's just kind of demonstrate that. We have at least a chance while fighting, and oh yeah, now we lost control over Senshira. She just goes after whomever is close. Alright, now we regained control. So yeah, just a I guess cool ability, especially if you don't care about your reputation too much, and depending, like I said, on your class and your party composition. Alright, so now that we have demonstrated that, let's, before we rest once more, because it's only 4 PM right now, and we need to wait until nighttime, let's set up our sequencers. And on Senashira, we're going to set up a minor sequencer and a level 7 spell sequencer. The minor one we're going to place mirror image and blur into, so that we can get a little bit of a buff instantly. And the big spell sequencer, we're just going to put 3 remove magics in it, I think, just because it's such a versatile kind of thing to have on one of our characters. Also, we can set up, not on Edwin, but on Imoen we have a minor sequencer. On Edwin we still have, I think, double magic missile, which I would like to change to double glitter dust on him. But we're going to do it at some point once he uses his spell sequencer. And on Imoen we're going to go for double magic missile, because I've also thought about the spells a little bit more in between recordings, and I've decided to make Imoen focus a little bit more on damaging spells, just to have a little bit more variety. So here she has the Skull Trap, and I think on level 6, instead of Death Spell, I'm going to go for 1 Chain Lightning, and at level 4, now that we have used that, I think she's not going to have Minor Globe, but rather Secret Word and 1 Ice Storm. And just to be clear here, both Ice Storm and Chain Lightning are pretty mediocre spells, if that, but just for the sake of variety, so that our mages don't have like all the same spells on like everyone, you know, I'm going to memorize at least 1 of these spells. And also now, since we have 3 mages, we can afford to have some suboptimal spells memorized. We have enough different spell slots so that we can, you know, we don't have to squeeze as much out of every spell slot as possible here. And also, just, you know, now that we have our party finished like that, I really love having 3 mages. It's It's so cool, and for a while we're going to be able to operate like that with 3 mages. You have so many options when it comes to spells, wands, and everything. It's just... it's great, I love it. So, anyway, now we can rest again. Oh, wait. We did not change Senashira's spells, now that she doesn't need the sequencers. So here I might go with maybe 1 Emotion Hopelessness, so that Senashira can be useful. And here just Ruby Ray, she's the only one that knows Ruby Ray, and I don't think we're going to need it anytime soon, but these other spells are not going to be more useful than that either, so... on Edwin we didn't also... not on Edwin, on Imran, okay. We have everything set up as we should. So now we can rest one more time, and now we can finally get back to our adventure. So now, under the cover of night, we can sneak into Kaya's home, and now on the table there's going to be that horn that we need to steal.
I am pleased at the progress that this ill-conceived group has made. I had not thought such a thing possible.
You're ill-conceived, Animan. But anyway, I'm going to go in just like that, into the house. You can go like while invisible, and while after getting that horn you can go into stealth, or also, you know, or invisibility, and just sneak out of there. But it doesn't really matter if you get caught, and then we get a little bit of a fight and a little bit of experience when we're not in stealth, I guess.
Do you have something you wish
Here's also a conversation between Kaya and her companion here, Algor. And of course Kaya does not want to get discovered by her, by the pirate lord, the Sharik. And yeah, Algor here says, the Sharik is suspicious of you ever since he caught you with that Saemon. So if you remember, Saemon apparently heard that Kaya's morality was suspect. But yeah. Yeah, his words were pleasing to hear. He is very good with them. So of course, as always, feel free to pause and read the conversation in detail. I am beyond offense. I live with the mighty Sharik, pirate lord of the Isle. That offends me well enough. Yeah, that power, that status, that wealth. I'm sure you have it so tough, man. And she even has her own guard, apparently. Yeah, so she's asleep already. Message received. Sleep then. And, you know, if you stay here visible for a couple of seconds, they're going to, yeah, wake up. Guards, to my aid. Alright, let's get that horn here. And they're just going to leave, and the 3 pirates here, we can go outside and they should follow us outside. Or perhaps we just need to go in there. Alright, now they are willing to go outside.
What do you want?
Oh, and by the way, look at Moins Damage here with the Firetooth crossbow. That's the thing, that the damage showcased here is inaccurate. As you could see, she did 13 damage, and she can actually do much more. That's because her damage here, I think it's generally the case for these launchers that generate their own ammo, but there are some slight differences. But when it comes to Firetooth, basically the damage of the projectile that you have equipped with it, if you have some projectile, like now we have bolts +1 equipped with it, it stacks with its base damage. So here, you know, it does 5 to 12 plus the 2 fire damage on it. That's also always there. But then we also have the 1d8 or an additional 1 to 8 damage from our projectiles here. So right now she actually can do from 6 to 20 damage. And especially if we equip her with like bolts of lightning, especially those, the damage she will be able to contribute with is going to be like pretty good, or like really good actually. And she's just a mage basically, so having that ability of even 1 attack per round, but a pretty decent one, and it's also, you know, performed at a nice thaco. Like our fighting characters have around 1. Karenai has -1, but you know, Imoen has 5, so not too far behind.
What is it without doubt?
Alright, and here we... Well, first of all, let's fix the combat music. That is not going away. That's pretty rare in Baldur's Gate 2. But anyway, now we're going to have to pre-buff a little bit, because there's an encounter on our way. Not too many pre-buffs are going to be necessary here, but these pre-buffs are also going to stay for some additional encounters a little bit later. Oh yeah, Imoen now has 1 stone skin only, which is a bit unfortunate. So let's just give her mirror images, I guess. And let's throw in... Yeah, Anoman has a lot of drop on Holy Might, so let's throw in that. And maybe a little chant, a little bless. I don't think I'm going to haste now, but... This should be enough. Also, I think I have these Boots of Speed that I'm not using, the second pair, and I think I'm going to give them to Jaheira for now, just so she can approach quicker. Yeah, so here's a pirate leader with his companions, looking for some slaves, I guess, to do some rowing on the ships. So how about it, girl? You going to come and be a slave quietly, or do we have to rough you up a bit? Maybe you could just back off now and leave with your lives, scum. Alright, so here we have a group of them, which in SCS is quite a bit tougher, especially since they have a mage here. So let's just allow her to get some pre-buffs, and then we're going to focus on her. And I think Edwin is going to throw a little glitter dust to debuff them a little bit. And Senashira might throw in a slow right in the middle. Right, and the mage, I think that's a fighter mage. Those look like a fighter mage pre-buffs. Yeah, with some improved invisibility, stone skin, shield, so no mirror, so no magic missiles. But other than that, she's open to being affected by spells. Oh yeah, Imon is not casting. She can contribute a little bit more for damage. Right, and she threw remove magic on Senashira, so let's try to minimize its effects here. And yeah, let's focus our attention on that mage. Alright, the remove magic was not effective. That's very good. And let's just get rid of that mage, because I think she has some level 4 spells that might be confusion. And let's maybe try to give her a quick acid arrow. And Edwin, you might want to throw in that emotion hopelessness, just to thin out their numbers a little bit. Disable some of them, and even though she got damaged by so much, she still managed to launch that confusion, and Kirinai unfortunately is confused. But that seems to be the only person affected, so... Alright, cool. We're just going to, I think, wait out this confusion. We're going to have some decently armored character, like perhaps Jaheira, close to Kirinai, so that she doesn't attack, like Callahan, for example. Alright, and one of them is right here. And those should be all of them, I think. Right, that's kind of unfortunate when... Okay, there's another guy. But the pirate leader is still there, it seems. Yeah, 16 physical damage and 2 fire damage, just coming from a mage. Pretty reliably due to her Thaco. So yeah, I like Firetooth, man. Especially when you have an archer, like the Ranger Kit archer. And with Grand Mastery and... okay, the confusion is... has expired already. But yeah, especially if you have, you know, someone with Grand Mastery with crossbows, and you load up Firetooth with some bolts of lightning, which we are going to do in some encounters, where it's more important to dish out some more damage. Okay, a lot of potions of invulnerability here. Very nice. And yeah, I was about to say that this confusion was a little unfortunate, that we have to, you know, wait it out, due to the fact that our own buffs are, of course, running at the same time. But actually, it lasted for a pretty short duration. And let's give this to Jaheira. This Ring of Regen. And let's just identify these things. And I think I'm going to... Alright, these are potions for Kiranai. Oh yeah, that's the pirate horn, by the way. To like open the gates so that we can sail out of here. But before we do, let's just quickly sell these.
What is it? Will be done.
Corruption, if ever there was one. Why, if not for the order, the gods would surely smite man for such sins.
Speak. Certainly.
Hanuman, you are such a dork. But yeah, well, let's get back to our adventure, and now finally we can talk to Saemon. There's nothing else to do. Oh, one more of these potions. Oh.
What is it?
Right, here's Saemon.
Quickly and precisely.
There you are, my friend. Have you secured the Seagate horn? I'm eager to flee this wretched island. Very good indeed. I've convinced the men on board that they should accompany me, and they will ready the ship for launch.
We will be underway long before... what I mean to say is that the Pirate Lord will not arrive in time to stop us. That is whom I meant, in no uncertain terms. Hurry, we must away.
Saemon Havarian.
Well, the Sharek apparently caught us anyway.
Ah, hell. I'll be below deck securing the, something.
You'll stand where you are, Havarian. You've gone too far this time.
If I have wronged you in some fashion, I am dreadfully sorry. I was not aware of any offense.
As you can see, Saemon Havarian, like, is like that to everyone, not just to us. Being this really untrustworthy guy that just gets in trouble all the time due to his different schemes, I guess, and just being a con artist, I guess that's what you have to deal with. Your pretty words are wasted on me, cur. I have seen you like a dozen times over and buried them all. I am lord of this isle, and yet you have undermined my authority at every turn, trading falsehoods, cuckoldry, and now my ship suffers your touch. Kill the scoundrel the Sharek, Kaya says. His mouth will spew nothing but lies. Your mouth is no better. How else would he have got the horn, if not by taking your company again? But the Sharek, dear, you know my feelings for you. Madam, you are a ravening ditch pig. Boom.
You have brought me to the brink of madness, Saemon Havarian, and now I will repay you.
Sir, you must believe that I am totally sincere when I say, Senashira, get him! So yeah, the Sharek is back, although we chunked him in his home before. And here he stays neutral, and we just have to battle these 4 guys over there. But we can attack him manually, so I'm just going to send Jaheira quickly to kind of tank these guys. And he stays neutral, but we can force attack him. And I think this pirate over there is also going to go hostile, and we can kill the Sharek again. Just to get rid of this pirate lord, I guess, on this island. And also what I'm going to do, in terms of pre-buffing for the next encounter, because I think these buffs are going to stay, I'm going to give at least Senashira some chaotic commands. Yeah. Alright, and here we can keep attacking. And this pirate didn't want to go hostile? Okay, he did, eventually. Oh yeah, Hanuman. Alright, and now, Hanuman, you know... Pre-buff Jaheira, and I think you are going to drink a potion. Alright, and let's slow down for a little bit. We don't want to kill all of them just yet. Right, he didn't have anything. The Sharek is going to have the... Oh, here's Kaya's scroll, like random scroll that she leaves, and the Sharek has the same things he had before, so 2 scimitars and studded armor. So I'm going to just put them into our new bag of holding. Alright, so Jaheira is pre-buffed, and now let's have Hanuman as well. And then Imoen and Edwin are going to be not protected, but we don't really care that much. Okay, and these guys don't drop anything useful. Right, so if the Sharik was alive, Saemon would have would say something slightly different. They would have a little, very short back and forth. The Sharik would just say that, you know, Saemon is going to pay for what he has done, and, you know, not get away with it. And Saemon would say basically almost the same line.
Cast off the mains. We are away. Set sights on the mainland.
As for you, Senashira, I know you are not one of my henchmen, and I should not order you about so. As much as I do not want to give it up, I have possessed this blade too long. It is yours, to cement our friendship. Payment for a battle well fought, and for many more to come. I don't want your gifts. Nonsense. It is a fine blade, and you are more than deserving. I will take no answer other than yes. Now, let us cast off and go. We are free.
The seas are calm, but the voyage is tense. And Saemon spends much of his time below decks. He acts as though he expects some great tragedy, and that by avoiding you, he can escape its influence. The course he has set is true, though, and you think you will make the mainland in a few days. On the fourth morn, a ship is spotted to the east, and a visibly shaken Saemon orders a change of course. The winds are against him, however, and the other vessel makes steady and remarkable progress towards you. Saemon grows increasingly nervous, and rightfully so. The ship looks odd, and you swear it may not even be resting upon the water. Inevitably, it pulls alongside, and reveals a crew like no other. Saemon orders everyone to have weapons at the ready.
And so here we are in trouble again.
All right, men. Prepare yourselves to be boarded. All weapons ready.
Don't worry, Senashira. I'm sure this won't be any trouble at all. So here come the Githyanki that we have met before. Well, we've seen their type before, and they have some pretty strong psionic abilities. And before we get on with the conversation here, you know, as you might have been able to read there, the psionic drain here, like, convinced, I guess, was so strong that it convinced that pirate to just die, because there was no point in living anymore. So yeah, let's go on with the conversation now.
The Yankee demand. You have the relic of holies.
Pardon? I am sorry, but I do not know what you are talking about. Speak clearly, that I might understand.
Understand, we see all that you do. Saemon Havarian, you have trespassed and taken what is not yours. Please, the name is spoken with more of a flourish and a good deal less spittle. Your name will be spoken with blades for tongues. You took the relic of holies. We will follow as we must. Now, who would be foolish enough to steal from the Githyanki, if that is what you are? I plead innocence, and demand you search me that I might prove it. Search all aboard, if you wish. That is the intent, inside and out. And I will not have anyone going through my possessions, but of course this is all about that sword that we couldn't really refuse, that he dumped on us. Now, Senashira, you'll have to trust me on this matter. I will provide for all those concerned. Search away, Captain. You'll not find any such object on me. Although, I don't know about these ruffians on deck. I don't like the look of them. Give them a thorough look. Just providing for those concerned. Me. My apologies, Senashira. Yeah, the blade belonging to the Githyanki is aboard. Detection does not lie. All will perish for this insult. But you can search and take the true thieves. Take the whole crew if you must. Examples must be set. None must attempt such a crime again. Destroy them all. This just isn't a good 10-day. And here a fight is going to ensue. So we still have our buffs, our chaotic commands here. That were the most important. Imoen is kind of in the thick of it. Let's give her some more mirror images. But here, basically, our goal is to just survive. And let's allow them to get some pre-buffs. Alright, we can at least dispel their mirror images with Detect Illusion on Kirinai. And let's try to deal with this Githyanki captain. perhaps. Yeah, they have some psionic abilities that would be able to confuse us. And so I didn't want that to happen. Okay, but apparently I think they managed to dispel... Actually, no one. It seems like their dispel magic was not effective. Yeah, they have chaos also. And Saemon Havarian... Okay, he didn't teleport out yet, but he is going to soon. Alright, we have dispelled their illusions. We might be able to get a couple of kills, especially if we focused on these normal Githyanki. Because, like I said, this fight is going to kind of end soon, after a certain amount of time. Right, we will be able to get through to this captain. So let's actually continue fighting him. Although, I don't remember, is he unkillable? Okay, we lost control over Edwin. Yeah, we have the message that the ship shakes and sounds as if it's about to break apart. I don't think we can kill the captain, but maybe we can kill one of the... right, Imo and safe. Maybe we can kill some of these Githyanki. They are killable, and we can get a little experience for them. So here the sailor says, "Prepare to abandon ship. She takes on water. Sahu again board us. This ship is doomed. Ready yourselves for the water." Yeah, this would be my cue to leave. Farewell, Senashira. Good luck. And yeah, now he teleports away. And now apparently Sahu again are joining the fight.
What is it?
Sahu again. I did not anticipate this. Back to the ship.
And so we are saved from the Githyanki assault by the Sahu again, but... Alright, Edwin is confused. But that's not a big deal. And also, Kiranai, apparently her saving throws were not enough. I guess her potion of invulnerability got dispelled. But that's not a big deal as well. And yeah, we can get some kills here. 3000 experience for a normal Githyanki. And yeah, the Sahu again approach.
What is it?
And we need to withdraw Senashira. Alright. And that's it.
The ship lurches, and the ongoing battle is soon the least of your worries. The entire vessel quickly lists to one side, as the cargo below decks violently shifts. There is no chance to make for a lifeboat, and you are thrown overboard, left gasping for air in an undertow you cannot escape. Pressure builds, and you are pulled deep, and you wonder if your last sight will be the disappearing Saemon Havarian, fleeing through some magical means, saving his own skin as always.
So yeah, we got captured again. Lured into a trap and captured. And so we obviously cannot understand what these Sahuagin are talking about, but we got captured and taken alive to someplace. Shuri. Asuk. Right, but now she cast a spell. So can it understand me now, High Priestess? It must be able to understand. The king awaits. So we have a conversation between Captain Firlatius and Royal High Priestess Senitili. And yeah, she says that she has called on Sekola to grant these beings the ability to understand our tongue. Sekola is their shark father god, kind of a ruthless, merciless god that they serve, and they kill in his name, and they also make many sacrifices to him. Yeah, so of course, as always, feel free to pause and read in detail. They have a little back and forth there. Edwin has a little interjection. I am sure this must come as a shock to you after your recent harrowing experience. You must brace yourself, soft ones, for your journey gets no easier. And yeah, Firlatius is going to insist that we come before the king, but Senitili is going to have a little chat with us before that. Allow them to gain their bearings and discover why we have brought them here. Sekola has spoken of these ones to us, so let us treat them not as prisoners for the banquet table. Let us instead make them welcome. I shall introduce myself to you. I am Senitili, Royal High Priestess of Sekola, and you are in the City-of-Caverns, one of our most ancient places. You are fortunate, surface dwellers. In the normal course of things, creatures captured from the Sunlands would be dinner for our plate. This one's, however, is different. Sekolah has told of your coming in an ancient prophecy, and I have scried that you are whom the Shark Father speaks of. I should have known. Once again your peculiar destiny has drawn us into something, Seneshira. Even the shark gods flounder in anticipation of your arrival. Well, you jelly, Jaheira? Like, we're alive thanks to the fact that we're Bhaalspawn. Or at least that's what the situation looks like. The most exalted king, Ixilthetokul, calls for the presence of the prophesied ones now, but there is time for you to ask questions if you have the desire. So if we demand to be released, she's going to try to calm us down. You can just fight through everyone. You can be uncooperative and just start out fighting and just fight your way through this place, but I am going to go with the quest. It's more interesting that way, and we can get some additional rewards. Yeah, there is no escape, and you live only at my insistence that you are the one Sekolah has called to us in his prophecy. And I went with this conversation option because she's going to tell here that it's not actually that... it's not a guarantee that prophecy, you know, she has interpreted this way, that we are the ones whom the prophecy speaks of, but it's not certain. It's not 100%, basically. Yeah, the consequences could be harsh for us both. What do you mean, for us both? Amongst the Sahuagin, to be wrong is to be dead. Not all of my kind believe you are the ones that Sekolah has promised, and I have staked much upon my claim. Prove me wrong, and I will die. But you will die first, surface women. Right, so we can ask about the place. You are in a great cavern of air, far beneath the surface of the sea. This is where we have made our city and where we have ruled for countless generations. There is no escape, surface dweller. The only exits from the City-of-Caverns lie up through the depths in which you cannot live, or down into the Underdark. So yeah, they're going to say that they are Sahuagin. They're basically like shark creatures. We are the raiders of the shores and hunters without equal, surface women. We please the Shark Father with our ruthlessness and our cunning. As I said, you are lucky to live, and it galls us that the prophecy calls on surface dwellers to aid us. And yeah, if we ask more about the prophecy, it's going to progress the conversation. Sekolah visited the City-of-Caverns long ago. All raised their arms in rejoicing as the great shark's song filled our hearts. Sekolah told of a time when the City-of-Caverns would be no more. He also told of signs that would precede the arrival of surface dwellers in the depths. Sekolah said these surface dwellers would be all that stood between the City-of-Caverns and destruction, and we would do well to watch for them. We, Sahuagin as you call us, have watched and waited from our temples here in the city. The signs have come, surface women, and now you are here. You have come, and the City-of-Caverns does indeed stand on the brink of destruction. You will save us as Sekolah has promised. And yeah, now we can wait no longer. Yeah, we must hurry, lest Tlysixis convince the king of her views in my absence. Yeah, because you will see that there is a bit of a conflict when it comes to the fact whether we are the prophesized one or not. And by the way, this name reminds me of the Tlilaxu from the Dune universe. It's kind of similar. Tlysixis. Anyway, so we can be cooperative or not. And let's go voluntarily for now.
We are here, most honorable Ixilthetokul, at your command.
And the king is a pretty funny fellow.
And these are the strange creatures from the surface? These are the ones you claim the mighty Sekolah has promised us?
It seems most strange. They have no scales. Look how small and puny their teeth are. And yeah, there's also Baron Thelocassil. You must kill it, most exalted one. They should not have remained alive. Yeah, sacrifice them to the Shark Father. So you keep telling me, Baron Thelocassil. Shall we turn away a gift from Sekolah, do you think, then? Yeah, so that's the dispute between the two high priestesses. Not all the signs have come, Senitili, apparently. And a man is on the verge of like breaking down here. And he has trouble controlling his anger outbursts. Yeah, so the king will judge whether we are the prophesized one or not. What do you think, human? Do you think you are more worthy than a sea crab? Do you think you are who the prophecy speaks of? So again, we always are going to have an option to kind of start fighting. Yeah, so we are going to have to pass a test here. We shall decide this with a challenge, we will, although not a challenge between our dear priestesses. That would solve nothing. We wish to see if these surface beasts are truly the ones that Sharkfather has spoken of, yes? So I shall offer them the chance to prove their power. Right, and here we can of course ask about, you know, we're going to get healed. Alright, so we agree to the challenge. And this is actually pretty weird because the only one we have to fight is just this Etin. And it's actually pretty sad, like he doesn't want to fight. I want home.
Speak.
But unfortunately we have to kill you, dude. And that apparently proves that we are the chosen of Secula. Just by killing this puny Etin. And congratulations, my wondrous little human. You are indeed a mighty specimen, and one sent us to by Secula, I might add. Oh, stop complaining, Baron. So your High Priestess lost the challenge. That's too bad. There's no need to go on whining about it. Time to take her away for sacrifice. Try not to get caught in Secula's teeth, Lysixus. I'm sure he wouldn't appreciate it. That king. And so they take her away, and she's going to be sacrificed, and we're going to be able to see that later.
Now that that little dispute is over with, perhaps we can get down to real business, eh?
He like rubs it in. Are you bitter, fellow Cassil? Your consort was just taken to be sacrificed. He has to keep his composure. Yeah, so apparently the problem in the City-of-Caverns is that the Sakwagan here are split into two factions. There are some rebels that they are going to want us to deal with. And the king, as you can see, he is not of too sound mind. He seems to be quite insane. He's like, "Eh, are you still here, Senitili? Didn't I just have you sacrificed?" That was Lysixus. Oh, how disappointing. Well, I suppose you can speak then. Yeah, so Senitili is going to have her own plot here, because she sees how the Sakwagan are close to being decimated with these two factions infighting between themselves. So our numbers dwindle, Honorable Ixilthatokal. You have exiled many, the hatcheries are barren, and there are too few females. In short, our bloodline grows thin. We need those rebels to join us, to add their blood to ours so that the City-of-Caverns may grow strong again. Yeah, the Drow and the Illithids take more each year. I have no wish to retreat to the depths. But no, I'd rather have the rebels' heart. Yeah, he wants the rebels destroyed, but Senitili wants some kind of a different solution. She seems to be the only kind of reasonable one here. Yeah, so it comes down to you, Surface Human. I am sure you have no wish to help a race such as us, but if you've no objection to killing a few, Jesus, stumbling over my words already. Hunt down the rebel leader for me, my human. Bring me his heart, and I shall reward you with great riches. Yeah, of course, Imoen advises caution here. He doesn't seem to be the most trustworthy individual, that king. Yeah, so some kind of a former rival, Prince Villinati, is the leader of the rebels, and they are outside the city to the east. You are the chosen of Sekala, my little surface human. You have been sent to us by the prophecy. After we're done here, you can wander off on your way, rest, rearm yourselves. Whatever it is that you surface people enjoy doing, I suppose. Soon you'll leave the city and kill this rebel prince, saving the City-of-Caverns as the prophecy foretells, and I shall reward you with great riches. Until that time, you will have the free run of the City-of-Caverns. Go where you wish, my good human. Yeah, so we're not exactly prisoners, we're more like guests now. We're going to have free reign over the area. Alright, so we accept this mission. Yeah, everybody will be happy, except for Villinati. And Senatili here says, before you leave the city, surface beings, come to the temple and speak to me again. I can tell you things that will make your job much easier. Alright, so this episode has been quite lengthy because of all of these conversations and kind of role-playing segments, but, you know, so I'm going to end it now, and thank you for watching, but in the next episode there's going to be plenty of action in the City-of-Caverns, now in this kind of bonus adventure. So, once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.